Hello. I hope you and yours are safe and healthy. After a wonderful and meaningful Holy Week and Easter, Ellen and I enjoyed a nice little staycation. I worked in the garden and the yard and got some rest. It was a much needed respite as we all prepare for some ministry-filled weeks ahead here on the other side of Easter. Life on the other side of Easter is a strange and can be a difficult thing. Often I've thought that I'm much more at home with the Lenten subjects of guilt and sin and mortality. Maybe that's why life on the other side of Easter is not easy, and why we're tempted and do go back to where we were and to what we were and to what we were doing before Easter came along and interrupted us with its power and glory and transformation. We're not alone in this rather strange experience of the other side of Easter. Except, of course, that Easter for Jesus' disciples was far less impressive than it was for us. I mean, theirs was much duller than ours. There was no special music, no bells ringing, no sermon. No, all they had to show for their Easter were those strange conversations with the risen Lord whom they never seemed to recognize. Well, despite the post-resurrection appearances that the New Testament provides for us, life on the other side for the apostles was as ordinary as it had been before Easter. And their solution was to just get on with it. They went back to work. They became who they were before Easter. I'm going fishing, says Peter. And he and the others go back to doing the only thing that they really know how to do. And when you think about it, the disciples were not very good at being disciples. They were not very good students of Jesus. They never understood what he was saying. They never recognized him, never healed anybody of substance, and they never really knew what was going on. The only thing they were good at is the thing that Jesus called them from doing. And so they went back to doing it. They went back to fishing, the only thing they knew how to do. So in a story that John tells, Jesus appeared on the beach at daybreak. The disciples didn't know that it was Jesus, but he can see them. And he sees that their labors of the night, the thing that they're good at, have been unsuccessful. What they're doing is not productive, even though it's all they know how to do. Children, have you any fish? He asks them. And they reply, no. Children, have you any fish? I mean, what a wonderful question to be asked of us living on the other side of Easter. Another way to ask it might be, how are you getting on in your work? Are you happy in what you're doing? Are you satisfied? Are you finding fulfillment doing what you think you do best? What do you have to show for all of your efforts, all of your investments of labor, energy, imagination on the other side of Easter? Nothing, they replied to the question. And that's too often our answer as well. Well, cast your net on the right side of the boat. Try the other side. The point is that whatever side you're laboring on, it's on the other side where Jesus invites you to cast your net. Well, they do. And suddenly they have a net full of 153 big fish. A net teeming with abundance, fullness, overwhelming success. And the net is miraculously spared from tearing so that they don't lose any of the fish. Well, Jesus is showing these disciples that life on the other side doesn't have to be the same as it was before. The other side is here and now, tangible, and it's full of abundance here and now, in the midst of what we do, in the midst of where we are. The post-resurrection accounts of Jesus are told to remind us that this other side is tangible and real. Not a metaphor, but something that lives in living people here and now, and that you don't have to die to know the resurrected life. When Jesus says to try the other side, he's offering new life to those of us who are trapped in making a living and not in making a life. He's offering the possibilities of freedom. Freedom from the captivity of doing what we've always done, and freedom for a new an abundant life that's full to overflowing. What happens to these fisher folk on the other side? They're transformed, and you and I are the result of their transformation. They're not made over instantly, like magic, but they grow to become witnesses of the risen Christ in a fallen world. Peter, who denied and lied, becomes Christ's preacher and martyr. The rest of them witness to Christ throughout their known world. They become the community of faith whose heirs you and I are. So life on the other side is life today for you and for me. It's Easter in every way. If you want to know what life is like, cast your net on the other side and respond to the invitation that Jesus Christ extends to you. Cast your nets on the other side and let Him fill them with such an abundance of joy and hope and possibility that our lives can't begin to contain it. Isn't that what we're all looking for? Isn't that what we all want? So, cast your net on the other side. See you soon.